Hey, what's up, Wheel of Time fans? Welcome back to Dan of the Red Hand. I'm Dan, and today we are going to do just a real quick deep dive on that cold opening for the season finale. That being said, there are spoilers for the entire season of the Amazon series, as well as the entire book series. So as long as you're good with that, let's get into this. All right, so that cold open opened up with Lews Therin Telamon talking to a female Aes Sedai, and yeah, it's all in the old tongue, which is good. We've already covered that in multiple videos. Let's move past that. Now, I want to talk about where this is specifically. It's obviously in the Age of Legends, and given the fact that Lews Therin has a child there, it would tell me that it is his home. Additionally, the woman he's speaking to is, at least in the series, the Tamerlane, or sits on the Tamerlane seat, which means that she is basically kind of the leader of the servants, or the Aes Sedai, which both of those things would be located in the exact same city, Paradisen. So I am 95% certain that this is in Paradisen, however you want to pronounce it, in the Age of Legends, and it's actually a place of fairly significant. It was the capital city in the Age of Legends. It was basically like the crown of civilization, which as they pan out to the window, you kind of see what that looks like. Now, when I say we see what the pinnacle of civilization looks like, I mean, look at this. It is a utopia. It is a wonderful blending of modernity and nature. There's a couple things I want to point out here. Look at the buildings and where they're situated, as well as look at that circular building in the center. Now, I have some theories on what that could be, but it's going to be important coming up. Also in this, you see airplanes. You see Joe cars. Those are those little flying Volkswagen Beetles, if you will, that are up there. So kind of a cool thing. A lot of things from the books in here, specifically when it comes to Joe cars. But let's dial into why they chose this scene and why they put it at the end of the season. So first of all, they chose this scene because they couldn't do the scene that we all thought they were going to do when we saw 3,000 years ago, and that was Lews Therin Telamon creating Dragonmount because he realized he was mad. Yeah, this is part of the heavy spoiler portion, so if you don't want to hear this stuff, get out now. But that being said, you couldn't have Lews Therin talking to Ishamael, because at this point in time in the series, it wasn't shown that Ishamael is that man with the, ember for eyes and mouth. It's in the show, that's the Dark One. They still haven't confirmed that that's Ishamael, the Forsaken, in the show, although he is credited in the X-ray as the man, or Ishamael, not the Dark One. So there's that aspect to it. That's why they couldn't do that scene where he's, the madness is removed and he has a couple moments of lucidity and realized what he had done, which was kill his entire family and everyone he loved, and thus committing him, having him complete suicide via the one power, basically, and creating Dragonmount. That's why they couldn't do that scene. This scene, I think, is actually a pretty damn good stand-in for that, because it shows that Lews Therin Telamon wanted to go, try to seal the Dark One away, but he had opposition from some of the female Aes Sedai. And that is something that's in the books. Now, is it exactly like the books? No, it's not, but it's not a bad scene overall. But why did they put this at the end? Well, that's because it mirrors something we saw in the first cold opening at the very first episode. What do I mean by something in the first episode? Look at these two images. We have seen this city before. We saw it as they panned away after the Red Aj and Liandrin gentled that one channeler in the cold opening. It pans away and you see the same city. Although now, in the current timeline, it is a ruin. It's been grown over. Nature is taking it back. But it is clearly the exact same place. So this is Paradisen, just where it is in the current world. Now, keep in mind, there was a breaking, so it could have been moved. Maybe it was, in the north, now it's in the south. Never know, because of the breaking, things got moved. That being said, clearly the exact same place. So why do that? Well, first of all, it shows that the Wheel of Time has neither beginning nor endings, and it's all circular. Even though we're at the beginning of the season, we see the end of Paradisen, and at the end of this season, we see it in its apex, when it was, this thriving city. So there's this nice duality, that's going on there, showing that as you're progressing in time this way, sometimes you're seeing things that happened in the past. There's a lot of little cinematography things or storytelling elements that I really like about that decision. It also kind of harkens to the circular motion of the wheel and how ages come and they pass. One of the best aspects that I like about this is it shows that at the end of the first season, you're seeing where this began. you're seeing the events that happened, or at least the discussion that happened, and Lews Therin deciding I'm going to have to go do this on my own, which is exactly what sets up the male's side of the power being corrupted, the breaking, how the White Tower split, you know, the power between male and female. It sets up everything that is going to be the driving factors for this next age. Some would call it the third age. But it shows at the end of this season. So it's just very, very neat the way the showrunners decided to do that. It's one of the few things that I'm like, hey, that's a really good change. I really like the way they did that, and I thought it was well thought out and fairly clever. So what is that circular thing in the middle? That's where the Super Bowl's being played. Clearly. Could be some kind of an athletic arena. We know they did have games and things like that back in the Age of Legends. That could actually be the Hall of Servants. For all I know, that could be the Hall of the Servants. That could be where they meet. Very much in more of a Roman-esque Senate type idea where everybody congregates there in more of an open space. Maybe they can have an audience listen in to the debates and stuff like that. Who knows? But I think it's cool that it's there in the center. And if you look at the Age of Legends picture, you'll notice that it actually has kind of a spiral around it almost. Very reminiscent to the rings that all the channelers in the Age of Legend are wearing, where it is one circle and then it has another circle that engulfs all three fingers around it. Very reminiscent of that. So kind of a nice thing there. So that's it, guys. Just a real quick video on this that I wanted to throw out there as I'm going through finding all the Easter eggs in the first 3 episodes, as I didn't do Easter egg videos for those. If you like this kind of content, click like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified whenever I come out with new content. And until next time, have a wonderful day and a great new year.